It's now 6 o'clock right here on Big Breakfast. Today FM, today's hit music.
Hey, I'm Pauline.
And I'm Alan. Tune in to the Breakfast Show on Today FM with Pauline and I every weekday morning.
From 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Right here on Today FM, today's hit music.
Today FM, today's hit music.
In this bulletin, Fiji Airways expects operating profits for 2014 to exceed $60 million. More training identified for clothing and textile industry. And police analysts can immediately test plants suspected to be marijuana. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. National carrier Fiji Airways is set to record its highest profit in history for last year's stellar financial performance. The projection is that the company's operating profit will exceed $60 million. Christopher Chand with this exclusive story.
The airline has been flying to record levels. 2014 has without a doubt been one of the best years for Fiji Airways.
So far, I expect an operating profit which is above $60 million. I think the best ever was in 2004, about 25 million. So we are doing right.
In the first 6 months of last year, they had a profit of $17.2 million. This figure has more than tripled.
I hope we are going to be the most profitable company in Fiji for the last year. And then, of course, we have raised the bar for 2015. Now we need to outperform in 2015.
The financial report for 2014 is being audited and is expected to be released towards the end of next month. Pishla, who has been CEO since September 2013, has dramatically increased profits to record levels.
We achieved this last year not because we tried to invent something new, but we tried to do our business in a very professional way, different to other airlines. And we were able to do that.
With its healthy financial books, the airline is also looking to pay its debts.
And of course, for the next year, in the budget, which has also been approved on the 12th of December, we are also going to repay another lump sum of the loan of FMPF, because we can.
Pishla departs Fiji Airways at the end of the month, but the airline has now set its New Year's resolution to outdo its 2014 financial performance. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
A 35-year-old man has been charged for sexually assaulting a 13-year-old boy at a construction site in Ba. The victim, who accompanied his grandfather to his work site, was allegedly sexually assaulted by the accused last Friday. In another incident, a 7-year-old girl was allegedly raped by a 15-year-old in Nandi on Saturday. The suspect, who was a guest at the victim's house, allegedly lured the girl to an adjacent house and then raped her. Police say children are vulnerable, especially in the presence of strangers, which is why they cannot stress enough the importance of keeping a close eye on children at all times. The introduction of the new developing country preferences by the Australian government has put more pressure on the need for training of Fijians, particularly those in the clothing and textile industry. This has been revealed at a press conference today in Suva by the Attorney General Ayasaid Qayyum. Ellen Stolz has more.
The clothing and textile industry will need a lot more training for the thousands of people that it employs.
That we will also be looking at helping improve our training and our skills within the industry. As you would appreciate, new areas that are opening up would require different skill sets, and as such we will need to address that, and we will definitely be working with the government to look at ways to address the training needs and this upskill of our workforce.
This follows the introduction of the new developing country preferences. The Attorney General agrees with this and says the government will be looking into this.
Training is very, very important. In some countries, for example, as I was just told, in countries like Sri Lanka, etc., people actually get diplomas and degrees in garment manufacturing and training, cutting, all of that. Fiji does not actually have that. In order for us to be able to position ourselves and also increase the image of the garment industry, we need to provide that type of training. And it is a very specialized area now.
Exporters will now have easier access into the Australian market, but this also means an increase in production. It's good news for our export industry, but it also translates into more jobs. Ellen Stalls, FBC News.
The Fiji police force will no longer send plants suspected to be marijuana to the Koronivir research station for testing. Police analysts are now able to test the plants at the scene of drug busts. Suva reports the police force used this new process on Vanuatu.
A police operation on Vanuatu has seen the arrest of 8 people and the confiscation of more than 2,000 plants believed to be marijuana from various farms.
We will be charging those people today and we'll take them to court tomorrow. So we are shortening the process, whereas before, all those drugs are sent over to Vitilevu, and it takes weeks or days. And those days, and whilst their drugs are being brought to Vitilevu for analysis, for assessment or analysis, it gives them, those guys are out there, back to the members of the public, and it allows them to do other, maybe destroy other farms that we did not reach.
The police force has carried out 2 raids on farms and properties on Vanuatu in the past 3 days.
Some of those areas have hard to get to, and it may take days, but we are relentless in pushing our men to thank the members of the public who are giving us information, and to give them confidence that whatever they are giving us, information that are useful information that they are giving us, are being used properly. We will go, whether it's days or weeks or whatever terrain, we will push on and make sure that we will get through to those areas.
The new method of testing samples for marijuana will be carried out at other divisions when officers carry out raids in the next few weeks. Sabera Tambua, FBC News.
In the news ahead, newly appointed Commissioner Western Manasa Tangithakimbau officially welcomed by staff in Lautoka today.
Nisambula, oyo Mr. Ben. Kelapa. Nama kikira na vima taka mundi tikira vorumbu kama na ono kena liwa Enabula FM.
Great words there from Lucky Dube and Baban. I hope you enjoyed that number. Different colors just for you on Gold FM. Only the classic hits. Louise with you on the Center Show. Well, thank you so much for the sweet company. This is Alana Miles, one of my favorites, and Black Velvet for you. Hi there. Join me on the Center Show every weekday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. for the best sounds on Gold FM. Only the classic hits.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. Commissioner Western Manasa Tangithakimbau has officially started in his new role following a handover ceremony in Lautoka today. Tangithakimbau takes over the portfolio previously held by Luke Moroivalu, who is now the Commissioner Eastern. Tangithakimbau says the Western Division is a major economic player in the country. He says their focus will be in the rural and maritime areas to help develop remote centres.
One of the major challenges is to keep the tempo of performance output of the division. Actually, the division commissioner's work itself is more focused on the rural and maritime areas. In terms of empowering the rural communities, in terms of taking the basic necessities of life to the rural communities.
Tangida Kimba was previously the director DISMAC and has a military background of 22 years. Fiji Television Limited director Ioane Naiveli has dismissed claims made by former company executives Tevita Ngonelevu and Tanya Wanganika that the termination of their employment contracts are illegal. Naiveli says their termination was done with a collective decision of the Fiji TV board members. Chanel Sivan reports.
Tevita Ngonelevu, the former chief executive of Fiji Television Limited, and Tanya Wanganika, who was the manager content at the Fiji TV, held a press conference today, a few weeks after they were sent home by the company.
When I was informed I was terminated as a CEO of a company, I requested Mr. Naval and Mr. Farid or their lawyers to give me a certify that there was a proper board meeting held to terminate me. Given that so far they haven't provided any proof, the termination again is not in accordance with what is in the articles, not in accordance with what they've been saying is in the annual report.
The duo was sent home last month in the midst of controversy surrounding the live coverage of the IRB7 series on TV. Today, the Fiji TV director Ioane Naiveli says their termination was discussed with the board.
We had a meeting, the board, and the decision was made from there. And we just go and told them the decision of the board at that meeting. Just three of us only, Farid, myself, and our lawyer.
Both Ngonelevu and Wanganika also say the circumstances surrounding their sacking are not known. In an interview with FBC News last month, FHL Chief Executive Nuzar Farid said FHL has a contractual clause of immediate termination and there is no need for a reason to explain to the employee. The unemployed duo now say they may file for legal action on the grounds of unfair and unlawful dismissal. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
Commander John Fox has been promoted to captain of the Fiji Naval Forces today. He was appointed by the RFMF Commander Brigadier General Mosese Tikoitonga, and his position is equivalent to a full colonel in the Army. Captain Fox has about 27 years of experience in the Navy. He joined the Navy in 1987 and rose through the ranks as Commander Navy in April 2011 till his appointment today. Captain Fox did his officer training in the UK in 1990. The Tertiary Scholarships and Loans Board is busy sorting through hundreds of applications for the National Topper Scheme for this year. 600 Year 13 students with the highest marks in the external exam qualify for the scholarship. Edwin Nunn reports.
With the new school year around the corner, the Tertiary Scholarships and Loans Board is vetting applications from all over the country. Board Chair Dixon Sito says while there is huge interest, the TSLB must focus on the key priority areas identified by the government.
We had a lot of applications for engineering, accounting and medical studies, nursing as well as doctors and things like that. But the interest in the other area which is very important for this country in the future is in the agro-based industries, and there was lukewarm interest in that area.
In 2015, the bulk of the 600 scholarships will focus on medicine, agriculture, teaching and sectors where Fiji needs expertise. It's expected there will be limited allocations made for tourism, ICT training, mining and environment science. Sito also reveals that in 2014, some students who qualified for and were awarded scholarships decided to take on an education loan instead.
Some have elected to go to loans because they felt that perhaps they didn't want to be bonded. So we had some people who elected to come out of the Topper scheme. We are hoping that we've talked to the minister that we will try and fulfill the full 600.
With the number of applications received, the TSLB is confident all 600 allocations will be taken up. $10 million has been allocated for the Topper scheme in 2015. Edwin Nund, FBC News.
2 senior officers from the Republic of the Fiji military forces are undertaking reconnaissance work in southern Lebanon. They will prepare a report that will be submitted to cabinet to approve the redeployment of soldiers to UNIFIL in Lebanon. Akusita Tale has more.
Close to 140 officers from the RFMF are expected to be redeployed to Lebanon by next month. The decision was made by the United Nations. However, a report has to be submitted to the government for endorsement before the redeployment to UNIFIL proceeds.
Lieutenant Colonel Bossai Vake and our Director Peacekeeping Operations, Commander Humphrey Tawake, have arrived in Beirut and are currently in South Lebanon for the reconnaissance work in regards to the deployment of the Fijian company, the redeployment of the Fijian company from Andof in the Golan Heights to UNIFIL in Lebanon.
The Land Force commander says the two officers have met with Major Tewi Tandaurewa, who has come across from UNDOF in the Golan Heights.
They've commenced their work there to do the reconnaissance with where we are going to be deployed, or where that company of Fijians are going to be deployed in all aspects of their deployment there, from command and control structures, administration and logistics of our troops that will move from the Golan Heights into UNIFIL.
The survey is expected to be carried out within a fortnight.
And they should submit a report which should form the basis of the RFMF submission to government for its approval for that deployment. We expect them back next week, and we will go through our ministry, the Ministry of Defense, with our submission. From then on, it will be the Ministry of Defense that takes that up.
The redeployment of Fiji's troops to Lebanon is temporary. However, when the situation improves in the Golan Heights and the troops are required to return, they will return to the UNDOF. Fiji has had a long history of deployment to Lebanon since 1978, and the deployment ended in 2002. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
We turn to sports now. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Thank you, Jackie, and good evening. Coming up, overseas coaches eyed for boxing and volleyball, and Vodafone Fiji's 7th side back in camp to prepare for Wellington and Las Vegas tournaments. This and more after the break.
मेरा चांद मुझे आया है नजर, ऐ रात जरा थम थम के गुजर। छाया है नशा मेरे आंखों पर, ऐ रात जरा थम थम के गुजर। रह जाए ना प्यासा मेरा प्यार, मेरे बाहों में भर दे मेरा यार, ऐ रात जरा थम थम के गुजर, ऐ रात जरा थम थम के गुजर। हाय मिर्ची एफएम पर मैं हूं जितेन शांडिल। शामिल हो जाएगा हमारे साथ टुनाइट शो में Monday to Friday from 7 PM to 12 AM. मिर्ची एफएम, it's
Sarwanduru na kaloko na Radio Fiji 1 and Domi Viti na bunga ni Vinyano. Nisambula Vinaka na ngono tagi ni rongo seri na ngona ni Reko Malolo. Nisambula Vinaka, oye o meli kilangi. Ningi nama kati umena nungu bengi rawi maina moni tiki na warombuka na rua kina wana kaloko na ngona ni rongo mani vesana. Waki na wono na ngona ni rongo seri na Radio Fiji 1 na Domi Viti na bunga ni Vinyano.
Welcome back. Good news for the Fiji Boxing and Volleyball Federations, as the two sports could soon have overseas coaches training its athletes. The Fiji Sports Commission is hoping to fill vacant positions as soon as possible with a busy sporting calendar ahead. Tsale Ndaudakarako with the details.
The sport of boxing and volleyball could join a long list of sports getting overseas coaches. Talks have been ongoing since last year, and the Fiji Sports Commission is keeping track of negotiations as the government has set aside $2 million for such acquisitions.
Right at the moment, we're waiting to hear on contracts for coaches available for boxing and volleyball. I understand that Rugby League have approached somebody to take on that position, so I think we'll be looking at the salaries and things on that too.
Time is of the essence with the Pacific Games in Papua New Guinea coming up in July.
We'd like to get it done as quickly as possible. you know, to get the best people in all the coaching positions, it takes a little bit of negotiation. We don't do the negotiating's done by the national sporting body, of course, and so we just wait to see what they come up with.
The two spots need to fill the position quickly, with time running out ahead of international commitments. The securing of overseas mentors from abroad can go a long way to improving the level of competitiveness of two sports that have failed to spark in regional and international competition in recent time. Salendo Vakadak, FBC Sports.
The Vodafone Fiji Sevens side is back in camp to prepare for the next leg of the HSBC Sevens World Series in Wellington and Las Vegas. The 26 players will undergo a vigorous training program following their festive season break. Officials say the team is injury-free and all players are fully fit to compete for a spot in the final 12. The Wellington Sevens will be held on the 6th and 7th of February, followed by the Las Vegas tournament a week later. The Nandi Bowling Club believes the standard of bowling in the jet-set town and Fiji needs to improve in order to remain competitive at international levels. To help achieve this, the club is drawing in new and younger players. Josephine Naval has the details.
Commonly known as the game for the oldies in the country, the Nandi Bowling Club now wants to change that mindset. Club Life member Shorab Khan says it is because of this mindset they are finding it hard to recruit more players.
The trend has changed now in the world, and when you see overseas bowlers like Australia and New Zealand, the champions are 19 years, 20-year-old boys and girls. So Fiji is lacking behind on that.
Khan says grassroots development is the key for success for them.
Introducing bowls to schools and young people to learn how to play bowls and become the future champions of the country.
Khan hopes with the work being put in, they will be able to increase the number of players taking up the sport in Nandi.
In previous times when we used to go into or we used to have, some of the bowlers used to shine out with the records and with the performance. But unfortunately at this moment in time, we've got a squad of 12 bowlers. Just only 2 or 3 is up to standard.
With the Pacific Games around the corner, Khan says it will also be an opportunity to prepare players for the international level of competition. Josephine Navula, FBC Sports.
2015 is expected to be a much bigger year for chess in Fiji in terms of development. The game attracted many players last year, and plans are underway to bring back the free weekly chess classes to benefit new players.
2015, if you look at it, I think it's going to be a huge year for chess because we are looking at resuming our Sunday chess sessions again. That's a free chess session for anyone in Fiji. It will be held in Fiji Club on Sundays from probably in February. We'll give the exact date, but it's an opportunity where the national representatives or ex-national reps of Fiji will come and teach young players or older players how to play chess. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're developing chess in various levels.
Meanwhile, the Fiji Chess Federation's annual general meeting will be held on the 31st of this month. David Chung was today re-elected president of the Oceania Football Confederation for another 4 years. The Papua New Guinea football president was unopposed and will continue in his present OFC position, which he has held from January 2011. With his re-election as OFC president, Chung also retains his position as a FIFA vice president. The re-election was made at the 23rd OFC Ordinary Congress in Papua New Guinea today. That was your sports for this evening. It's back to Jackie now with business. Good evening.
The Suva City Council has received about 30 applications from people interested in operating an international food kiosk at the My Suva Picnic Park in Monikau. The city's Special Administrator Chandu Umaria says the council is planning to start off with 3 food stalls. Umaria says the food outlets will be monitored to ensure that they are complying with health regulations and that the food is affordable. So far, a total of 30 applications have been received by the council.
And we have noticed a lot of people come there, and a lot of them come with their own food, with picnic and all. But we want to make sure that people come there and enjoy themselves. And they buy safe food, edible food which is not too expensive. So in the vicinity, there is no takeaway shop or anything. This is also helping people, entrepreneurs, to come into business, microfinance business. A lot of people want to come in business, but the rent in the city is so expensive. It's about $2,000-3,000 a shop. So we want to bring in people, entrepreneurs, to come into that area and start off their own business and get bread and butter for their family and education for their children.
Umaria says these food stalls will be open to the public soon. Fine weather conditions were experienced over the country today. A trough of low pressure lies over Solomons and extends southeastwards over Vanuatu. Another trough lies over Samoa and northern Cooks. Temperatures, another hot day with maximum temperatures hovering between 29 and 31 degrees today. Suva and Sabu Sabu recorded 29 degrees, while Nadi, Lautoka and Ba hit a high of 31. Expect some showers, over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands tomorrow. Elsewhere, expect fine weather apart from possible afternoon or evening showers. Further outlook, Friday is looking pretty much the same, with showers over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands. Elsewhere, afternoon or evening showers. And recapping our top stories, Fiji Airways is expecting to announce a profit for the 2014 financial year. Police have called on parents and guardians to be responsible with their children following 2 separate cases of alleged sexual assault involving children in the past few days. And the Fiji police force can now test plants suspected to be marijuana at the scene of drug busts. On to our poll question for this week, we're asking, will your back-to-school shopping cost less this year? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj. And if you're on Facebook, be sure to like our page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That's news for tonight. Join us again at the same time tomorrow. Good evening.
घर संसार में आपका स्वागत है। आपका अपना छोटा सा स्वर, जहाँ प्यार भरे रिश्ते पलते हैं, जहाँ हेल्थी रहने की सलाह दी जाती है, जहाँ हम आपको और भी सुंदर बनाते हैं और जहाँ स्वाद की सौगात भी है। नमस्कार, मैं हूँ पल्लवी। सोमवार से शुक्रवार 9 से 12 तक रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन पर घर संसार में शामिल रहिए मेरे साथ।
ऐसा सुंदर सपना अपना